This is okay, girl. Y'all ready? Let's get it together. This is our time. Yes! All right now. Yes!
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you feel.
All right.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you
Okay. Come to me for advice about your family and friends, to your husband and your wife. I can tell you about mine and what's been applied. So stay tuned and buckle in for the ride. My past experience are for your ears to hear. I'll tell you tales from my past year. May do a review on some beauty products. You can catch me on the stream when the grease is popping.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you feel.
Okay.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how
Here
you
we
feel.
go. When the road is bumpy and everything is shaky, gotta live and love and show it on the daily. You do your thing and I'll do mine. No judgment here, there's only love on my mind. It's not always right, some things are not easy. We can toss and turn until we make it easy. Keep a smile on your face and encourage one another. We only live one life, so we gotta love each other.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you feel.
Oh yeah.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you feel.
The lesson we learn won't stop or block us. We're all on the path, so let's get to walking. Live and love each day as your last. It's funny how time can flash. This is your life, so you better live it. If you really want something, work hard to get it. Join me on my journey and watch the show. We'll do it one more time, but by now you should know.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you feel.
Yeah.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you feel.
Okay, okay.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you feel.
That's right, girl.
The revelation, the truth, the real, the say how you feel.
Yo. L&L. L&L. Woo. 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 L&L show. It's hot. 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 Taste it hot. I'm ready. L&L. Let's go. L&L show. Motivation speakers. Positive affirmations. Tune in every week. We need a Monday family meeting. Elijah always cheating. Relationship advice on Wednesday so you don't go creeping. Thursday game time. Come in and unwind. Friday night shout out time. Creators grind and shine. Pop up at the pop up. Shop up at the shop up. Get your bomb.com seasons for your potluck. Tropical morning for your royalty. Love and live empire bringing all the heat. It's time to turn up. It's time to turn up. You wanna taste that heat? Try to taste the heat. Hot sauce, that sweet heat is banging like this beat. Chocolate burning, love, mild watermelon. Heat. Dynamite's the truth. Have you favorite nephew, Lenora. She know it's the truth. Adriana. Chris. Everybody love Chris. Love it.
It's the love and live show. It's the love and live show.
Love and live.
It's the love and live
We be laughing, having fun.
Get up, please stay up and live. Get up, please stay up and live.
Love and live. Each day as if it was your last.
The love and live show. The love and live show. And live. Love and live.
Yep. Visit Love and Live Shots.com.
Welcome in, everyone. How's everybody doing today? I guess we can make a little bit of adjustment. Hey, do you like the way it's looking right here?
I'm just here.
All right. Well, anyway, welcome in, everybody. It's the Love and Live show. You guys know every Thursday what do we do here on the Love and Live Show?
This is not Thursday. It's
I mean, every Wednesday, what do we do here on the Love and Live Show?
Relationship advice.
All right. So with that being said, today is going to be no different. We're doing relationship advice. We chat with you folks in the chat about different relationship topics and discussions. All right. So let's try this one instead. Oh, what's going on with that? Wait. That's Monday Family Meeting.
I don't know what he's doing.
I don't necessarily know what I'm
that
doing.
little froze.
You said what?
You froze like that.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and run. We're gonna go back to this other one. I thought we had something going on with that other one, but apparently not. So we're going to this one. Are we?
Why did you mess with it? That's what I don't understand.
Okay, we coming back to this for just a second. For just a second, you guys are.
Now we ain't even.
Bear with us. But anyway, with that being said, you guys know what goes on here on the Love and Live Show.
We're gonna be.
It's
here.
not
Just
relationship advice. It's relationship.
You gonna put us back on the
discussion.
phone?
We already are on the phone. I just had to put the phone back on here.
I know we're not on the phone.
Yeah, we are.
No, I could tell, but that looks more crisp. This does not.
This is the phone. I know we're not on the phone right now.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I'm gonna I have to wait for this to come so I can put it back up. But anyway, yeah. So we got some folks in the chat. We're gonna go ahead and welcome some folks in.
His hair is doing its own thing today.
You don't like your hair?
It's just like in my face.
You don't appreciate it trying to do its own thing, be about its own way.
No.
You're not down for that.
No.
Well, okay. Let's see. Let's see if this works this time.
Ooh, let's hope.
Yeah, we had a little set. I thought we were as fully in the group. There we go. All right, so here we go.
Better view.
Yeah, even then, it's just a little. Maybe catch back with the focus.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but you know how we doing. We switching up the formats and setups. Even with this is Monday Family Meeting. This is not Monday Family Meeting. So let me take this off. It's relationship advice, but not really. It is
relationship advice until we change our name.
Okay,
y'all know we changing up.
Okay.
In November, so be prepared for November.
It's relationship advice.
What are you doing?
So we're gonna move as it's relationship
advice. There we go.
All right.
Are you ready? What we doing today? Let them know what we doing today.
So we're gonna be talking about different discussions.
What's our discussion?
Over here on relationship advice. There we go. Now y'all see it's relationship advice. Now it's covering us, but you know, you feeling that relationship advice. So with that being said, today we're gonna be talking about something kind of how we did last time, but we switching it up ever so slightly because we have some actual like real life instances or like some good questions we can kind of ask on how it relates to us on a more personal level.
Okay.
So why relationships bless you.
Thank you.
Why relationships could be uncomfortable. That's what we're talking about. So we're talking about like discomfort, uncomfortable situations. You know, that right there, I mean, arguably was uncomfortable. The Queen of Orange got slapped in her face with her own hair.
Okay.
And that just kind of happened here live on the Love and Live Show. You guys were able to catch that. And see, real life instances, something that might be possibly uncomfortable.
Yes.
But with that being said, I do have some talking points and some reference points that we can kind of jump into. But before we can even get into all that, now we set up over here, we got to welcome some people in from the chat.
Okay, let's go.
So starting from the top, we're going to go ahead and welcome in
Vince
Yours. Vince Yours is in the building. All right, Vince Yours saying, hey, Lenora and Elijah, I'll be late due to my premiere at 6 p.m. I'm going to jump right after. I'll see you soon.
That's my fam right there.
We also got to welcome somebody in. All right, she was the first. We've got
Sweetheart.
Welcome Sweetheart is in the building.
Yes.
How you doing, Sweetheart? Welcome in. I keep forgetting the camera right there. Yeah. Welcome in, Sweetheart. How you doing today?
How you doing?
All right, Sweetheart said, hi, nephew. Hi, Queen. How you doing today for lunch?
Doing great.
She had some rice, chicken, and fish. And then she had some vegetable soup.
Ooh.
All right, that's cool. Some vegetable soup.
That's
you
what
over here doing it up.
And
we also got something going on over here. Okay. Queen Orange getting adjusted. Okay, Queen Orange, she's doing her thing.
Okay, go ahead.
We're gonna be right back because
Well, just go. Let's
okay, all right. I didn't know how long you was gonna take to get adjusted, but anyway. Okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah. So then she said, "It's already the morning, so she's going to sleep now."
Okay.
All right. But she did drop something before she left. Okay. What were you saying over there? What was you saying, sweetheart?
Ain't nothing free about us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart.
We appreciate you, sweetheart. And you know what she said? She said, "Just for nephew and queen."
Oh, that's so sweet. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And so we got to welcome somebody in. We've got
Ashley Hunt. Hey, Ashley, how you doing?
Is in the building. Ashley says, "Hey, how you doing today, Ashley? Welcome and nice to see you in the building. Glad you're able to join us today for relationship advice. She right here, relationship advice, right there.
Yeah.
All right, relationship advice. We have to welcome in my mother. She's in the building. We have
Mother Earth Consultant.
Mother Earth Consultant is stepping in. She's saying, "Happy Wednesday."
Happy Wednesday.
She said, "Don't forget to hit that like button."
Yes.
Don't forget that. We got to welcome somebody in. She's absolutely lovely. She's stepping in today. We have
lovely Samira.
How you doing, Samira?
How are you?
Welcome in, Samira is stepping in.
Yes.
She said, "Hey, Queen Lenora." Anyway,
hey.
Welcome in. All right, and we got to welcome somebody in as well. We lit over on this side of town. We got
755. Okay, 755. You got my intro ready for November?
She said, "Hello, fam." She don't
even know.
You know, mom.
Yeah, she like, you ain't contact me here. For first, you gotta contact me. But yeah, do you got our song ready? We already picked the name, so you should already have our song ready for November. Our first November Wednesday. What are you doing?
Just in the camera. There you go. I was out of focus. I had to get that right.
November. Whatever the first Wednesday in November for our new relationship advice.
So whatever week it is.
Okay, so one, I didn't call you and let you know. And then two, I didn't give you the new name. And three, I didn't give you no money.
Yeah,
but minor details with all that stuff that I didn't do. Did you do what you were supposed to do, even though I didn't do what I was supposed to do? I just want to know.
So we here live, folks. There is actively acting up, but with that being said, 755, that we still stand. We do need that song. We're turning into the Love Lounge. Relationship advice is going to the Love Lounge.
Yes.
Come November. So we are looking forward to
our song.
That transition. And we do want to reach out to you for the song. So we're going to welcome somebody. Oh, we're not welcoming nobody else in. Samara, she said, yes, she laughing. Yes, we are said welcome.
Thank you.
And 755, she coming in, dropping a little sparkle, a little fire, a little lit.
Oh, that means she already got our song ready. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't
know how you do it without even knowing what the name was. And girl, I knew you had it. So the first Wednesday in November, y'all gonna hear the song. I had found a beat that I liked. But I'm gonna let you do it because my beat I like was on E Money's beat, but I can't even remember
what the beat was called. So
and I'm gonna hear stuff so much I don't even know which one it is. But anyway, I'm gonna let you figure it out. Something that we'll go with the Love Lounge. Is it Love Lounge?
It's the Love Lounge.
Love Lounge. So yeah.
Love Lounge. We stepping in with the Love Lounge, but we do have.
And Eli's on the Cash App because you remember I got kicked off of Cash App. I don't get Cash App no more.
She said like and share. Done.
Don't try to do that. But thank you. Don't try to act like that.
Love Lounge. Okay.
Yeah, that's the song that you're gonna be doing because we know.
Well, let me check real quick. I think it is Love Lounge though because that's the one that got
the most
ratings. I think it's Love Lounge. Yeah.
It was number 8. That's all I know.
Yeah, so a lot of people were putting in number 8. We was gonna do a little voting thing. It was like, forget that. Everybody's in defaulted
to Love Lounge. So now we just need the song to go with it. and only 755 could do it. And if y'all don't know, like if y'all want some music for your page, like you need to really be hooking up with 755 and Shandy. Y'all tripping. You can have 755, 755 plus Shandy. I mean, y'all need to get on it. Like,
they be doing it over there. They be doing it. Well, and they both do it on a solo kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then when they come together, there's no further like questions about it. You know it's gonna be a jam. It's gonna be a hit.
It be on point, and they don't even live in the same city or state.
They be coming through with the collabs.
So
over the internet coming through with
and
the
they charge a good reasonable price. Like you ain't gonna be losing a lot of coins for what you get.
No, they be doing it up.
You know, they giving you more than what your coins can. I can't do it.
They give you more than your money's worth over
there. There you go.
Okay, so you need to step in and check them out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to welcome somebody in. Mr. Blue Carpet himself is stepping into the building.
Yes.
We got Prince Daniel. Give it up a little bit for Prince Daniel.
How you doing?
Prince Daniel, he said, "Hey, Queen," and my homeboy like, "What's good with Prince
Daniel?
How you doing today?"
Okay, so now we go to your
we got to get into this. We got to get into this. 755 said, "Big thank you." No, big thank you to you. You turning up with that love in the show.
I told you, the best song ever.
Come on now, it be going.
Get up and say.
So the topic for today is why relationships can be uncomfortable.
Okay.
Have you ever felt uncomfortable in relationships, Queen? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of a common thing, you know. But that's just like awkward moments.
It's usually like if you first meeting each other or you first going out on a date, the uncomfortableness is like the awkward silence, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to get down and dirty when I'm eating because I don't want to look like I'm a pig. You know, what to order because you don't want to order too much. You don't want to order too less. It's a whole bunch of nervousness getting. Do I smell good? Is my hair looking good?
Yeah.
Is my makeup on point? I hope I don't have too much makeup. Is he going to touch my face and makeup come off? I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the women's behalf. Yes, and did I layer properly for this date? You know, this is old school. We layered back in the day. So did I layer properly? Stuff like that. Do I want to kiss him? Do I want to have that awkward kiss or a hug? These are things that's already going in your mind just from a women's point of view. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, and then you just want to feel comfortable because now you sit up here tense, sweating for no reason, trying to sweat out the smell that you worked so hard to get, and you just don't know what to do. But I don't know what the uncomfortableness for everybody.
That right there's like one angle of an uncomfortable situation. That's like the starting uncomfortable. Whew. What about the uncomfortable when you're already in a relationship? Whether that's a topic that you're not really comfortable talking about, or area you might not be comfortable going into at the moment, or even within maybe family and friends too. Work environments, people do stuff all the time that make you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, well, that's y'all business.
I mean, you know. Okay, we got to welcome somebody in. Before we get in right now, we got to welcome in April Showers Network. April is in the building. She says hello, everyone.
Hey.
What a range of applause we got. April Showers Network in the building saying hello, everyone.
Hello.
All right, Prince Daniel, you say yes. I like that theme song you did for them 755.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know, she already gave us a number one hit. It was cooking it up. So now we got to get another number one hit. We can't just be stuck with one number one hit. We got to have 2, 3, 4.
We got to be moving forward.
You got to.
Keep moving forward.
Just keep on moving.
We got to welcome somebody in mind, body, and soul. You got to get well with
Wellness with Frugal Mama. Hey, Wellness, how you doing?
In the building. You got to wake up with her. You know, lift, stretch, all the above.
Well, I didn't wake up with her, you know, because I was asleep through her. But I mean, I was like listening to her when I was doing stuff around the house and everything. And I was like, well, I ain't doing no work. But the topics was great. But I was like, oh. So what I did is I'm trying to break into these shoes. So when I go on vacation, I'll be all right with these shoes on.
Yeah, I'm glad that you was breaking them in because you were saying at the place how some of the shoes be feeling a little different.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you break it in because your feet, I think, is a little bit wider.
Well, you sure it's gonna break it in for your foot though? That's what you want, right?
I want it to be wide, so if your feet is a little wider, it'll get it.
Okay. Well, With that
You
being
broke
said,
in my one shoes for me, so
oh, that's true.
yeah.
We got to talk about this one right here.
Okay.
All right. So this is a family moment, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is more so like how you handle family, okay? So this is an interesting situation. And so we got a brother and sister dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the sister is a little bit younger and the brother is older. But the brother, he got, different things that he got going on. Like, he just not been necessarily on the right path. He didn't do good in high school. He's been having a hard time getting a job. And he's just kind of fighting his own battles right now. And she's younger, and she's like the more successful one, doing college, good job, whatever, whatever it may be, that dynamic. Well, what happened was he was diagnosed with ADHD, right? So he was fighting his diagnosis. He was not trying to listen. Like, he was like, just going against it and everything like that. But it's affected the family and everything like that. So, ever since she could remember, he would be like physical with her, like fighting and all that. And of course, he's older, she's younger. Queen Lenora is counting right now, so I'm getting a little bit boring. So all that to say, there's always a dynamic of what happens when you're young, but when you grow up. So he was always pretty much being physical with her and everything like that. And so now that they're older, they've moved out. He's still living with the parents. She doesn't necessarily feel comfortable coming to the parents' house because he lives over there now. What do you recommend for this situation? Because of course you would want to visit your parents' house, but they're not in a good place between their sibling relationship, and that makes her not want to go over there anymore. What would you recommend?
Who has a problem with who?
So she has a problem because he used to be beating up on her all the time when he was little, or when they were little, right?
Okay.
And so, like, she felt very bullied and everything like that, and they never really discussed anything. He always was just rude to her, just as they were growing up. And so now that they're older, she moved out the house, but he now don't have a job, and he's pretty much relying on the parents. And now she doesn't feel comfortable in that environment with the house anymore because he's still living over there. What would you recommend for her in this situation?
I don't know.
You don't necessarily recommend anything?
I think when you siblings, I don't know. Like, when I think of siblings, I think of the fighting and all that. That's just normal stuff. To carry it as an adult, I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't carry any of that with me as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still laugh at some of the stuff my brother tattled on me, trying to tell me what to do when he came and snuck in and stole mom's car and stuff like that. I mean, it is what it is. And if he lives with it, what does that got to do with anything? I don't know what anything got to do with anything. So apparently we're not getting the full gist of what it is, because you're talking about being kids and being bullied. That's what they did. I mean, even my daughter would tell me now that she's older that the boys will always beat her up and stuff like that. It just made her stronger. But I don't understand why we all of a sudden I don't understand this new age of being sensitive about my siblings beating on me and messing with me and torturing me. My cousins did it. That's just what we did. I don't know. So I don't have
a sympathy for the situation,
and I don't have the understanding. Like, you're not giving me a reason to have sympathy or empathy for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're just telling me normal kid stuff.
Yeah.
And you're not. There was no. I'm getting deep with this conversation. It's just, it was boring. I mean, even when you told the story, I was like, "This, why me?" I started thinking about something else to do. I mean, so it's not like, I don't know what the uncomfortableness of going home to see my mom because my brother lives at home. What did they do?
So
you just
you're
go
not
over there.
seeing eye to eye with that. So there's no, like,
I don't know whatever she wanted us to know, she did not display it for us to know. So for me to give an opinion or an advice about it, I cannot do, because openly and honestly, you gave me nothing but what siblings do as kids.
So you feel like, let's say this, you may have a family member that does you wrong in the past. Say they are in a situation where you would call home. Do you feel anything with that? Like, let's say maybe not siblings or whatever, cousins or whatever it may be. Maybe they're around. Would like even like let's say your aunt and uncle house. Say you got a good relationship with your aunt and uncle, and that one cousin that you just can't stand or haven't got past whatever issue with is there.
I've always been a person personally where I could be in the room with my worst enemy.
Yeah.
And I know how to ignore them like they're not there. Like I literally have this thing where I can make you invisible to me. So you're not even there.
Yeah.
For example, my mom had this one friend and I didn't like her. I'm not going to explain why I didn't like her, but I didn't like her. And I would come in the house and I would say hi to everybody. I don't know if I gave hugs because I'm not a hugger.
Yeah.
So I gave hi and I said hi to everybody. I skipped over her and said hi to everybody around her but her. See how that was? I wasn't uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I talked, I did what I needed to do. I think when people are uncomfortable or something, it's because they have this inner thing that I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand how we
can't necessarily relate.
I can't. That's why you might have to give that advice because I can't give anything on something I have not experienced. Most of the stuff when I give advice, I have experienced it or I've seen it enough times to get it. And I'm like, move on. You know what I mean? Like, okay, they're here. They're family. You everybody in here has family members that you don't like, didn't get along with, and can't stand. But when you know during the holidays, you're going to see that aunt, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, whatever it is, you're going to see them. And you just deal with it. So for this to be a topic is really a hard conversation.
Yeah, so because for you, what you're saying is an instance like this, say you did have like a sibling that was giving you a hard time when you was younger, or grew up, y'all not necessarily in a good place. All you going to do is put the do not disturb on it. Like you going to, just, they can't get in your zone. Yeah. That's what you're saying.
Well, my thing is you're not going to, you can't bully me into not being comfortable with family. Yeah. We all grew up together. You know what I mean? Like one person ain't messing up the whole show for me. You know what I mean? That's just how I look at it. And for somebody to say, if you have that one person to mess up the show for you, that's you. I don't even know how you have a job. I don't know how you do anything because there's somebody at your job that ain't going to like you and you ain't going to like them. How do you work? Like, how do you do that? Because that was my first impression of I'm at this job and I can't stand the effort. And then all of a sudden, when I was in school, I don't like her. I'm in class with her. I don't like her. So you learn this when you were younger. So I don't know how you got older and felt like, oh my God, this is like an awkward moment. I'm going to be around my brother that I was raised with and he bullied me. And I don't know how to feel. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Definitely. Is he bullying you now? Like, is he beating you up when you see when you walk in, he just start beating you up? Like, I don't know. You're not giving me no information.
Well, let's say, we can get a little bit further than that, but we're gonna go ahead and welcome somebody in. All right, we got
Sugar Daddy Williams.
Oh, my bad, I forgot to add the one. I did. All right, he said tapping in, fans.
Thank you so much.
Sharing it out. Yeah. All right, we also got to welcome in WTF with the family Tabers. Welcome in. They're saying, hey, y'all.
Hey.
How you doing? And we got to welcome somebody in. We've got
Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash coming in and say, I've been a little sad. Tell us what's up, Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, what you said?
And we have to welcome in one of our wonderful moderators here on the Love and Live show. We got GJ34, GJ3 in the piece. He said, deal with it? Well, what if people don't really want to deal with it? How are they trying to deal with it if they do deal with it?
Exactly. So that's Elias' job to hit it.
I feel like something like this there's multiple ways you can really come at a situation like this. There's the main one I would say is confrontation. Like a situation like this, depending on how you are or who you are as a person, you might not necessarily be comfortable. But if it is an ability confrontation, face that head on and really tackle that whatever tension or beef that y'all have. Because what you don't want to do is, like Queen Lenore said, allow yourself to be uncomfortable in a family environment. So, I mean, you can do that. Queen Lenore actually did give another one. I mean, if you just feel like you can't tolerate that person, act like they're not there. Like anything they doing towards you, just, put that distance between yourself. Allow them to know, I'm not comfortable with you. We not on the same page. I can't operate with you around, but I'm here to see my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, whoever it is in that family environment. I think like a lot of people will want to take maybe the avoidant way, or maybe not, or it might be easy to take the avoidant way, but then again, you're the one who's missing out. And if you have somebody who's been bullying you or mistreating you for so long, don't let them take, something that will make you happy, like seeing your family, seeing your close family and friends. Don't let them take your joy away from you in that situation, because ultimately they're still bullying you. And you don't want to be at a later stage in life still feeling like you're in the same cycle with that. But I mean, I can't really say anything else too much personally, because I haven't been in a situation where I'm feeling like I can't be around anybody or anything like that. But I just think, looking generally at the situation, there is some ways that, I don't know, you can handle that. And again, even through all of them, they might not be comfortable. And that's why we're talking about uncomfortable situations.
It's true.
But let's talk about one that maybe you can relate to a little bit more, Queen on. But GJ3, before we get into that, he said, "Oh wow, allow it to happen. Like, don't like the person, but allow myself to be there." Easier said than done. Exactly, and that's why we're talking about uncomfortable situations.
Yeah. And for some people, I can say it is easier said than that. It's easier for me to do it than it is probably for somebody else. But like I said, it's one of those things that I think you grow up with it. Like my one brother, he comes in and out from Texas to visit me. My cousins and stuff, we did it, and they bullied me, and I probably helped bully one of the other cousins and stuff like that. It is what it was. Like, I don't know. We were kids, and I thought kids get over stuff fast, but maybe they don't. We did.
Some people reflect on things and like it really hits them in a different way.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I said I personally don't have an advice for anybody like that. So if you guys have advice, please put it in the chat that you have an advice for, because just because we're on the platform and talking don't mean we always have advice. Because I know on this subject, I have no advice for it, no opinion, because I ain't never seen it or dealt with it, and it ain't been something that's just rolling in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wellness for Frugal Mama said they don't.
Yeah.
So what about this situation? All right. This person is coming in saying, my girlfriend has been increasingly upset with me over small slip-ups. All right. So how can I make her happy? So he feels like every little thing that he's doing is making her upset. And he's just feels at this point uncomfortable. Can't move left, can't move right, can't go up, can't go down, can't go any direction. He feels uncomfortable. What would you recommend for a situation like this?
What happened?
A little context of the situation.
Yeah, for him to be doing that and getting on her nerves. What happened?
So he just moved in, and
I agree.
And she offered to move in and everything because her lease was ending, and they just feel like they're in the closer stage with the relationship and everything like that. And she couldn't afford another one. So honestly, best situation, they moving in together. So yeah, that's just what they've been doing. They did a little trial period before. It was working out fine.
What happened? Not the moving in couldn't have been the problem. What happened?
Well, okay.
You don't know?
No.
Because I'm like, he gonna go and it's gonna get longer and longer. What happened?
Okay, so this is the point of tension. All right. So they had hit this subject, and she was feeling a little self-conscious about.
Yeah, what's the subject?
Okay, I'm getting into it. They hit this subject. She was feeling a little self-conscious about her weight, right? And he had mentioned something about her having a whole bunch of food in the fridge since she had moved in, and pretty much alluding to the fact that she'd been eating a lot. And
He's
so,
talking about you.
come on, you acting up. So in this situation, that's what happened. So she feel he self-conscious, and he said that pretty much you're a fat pig. Pretty much, that's how he would take it.
Never said it.
So what would you recommend in that situation? I mean, he didn't say, he wasn't even trying to be rude about what he had said, but he had said something, tense.
Well,
so what would you recommend?
First of all, let me just get this out in the open for you men.
Mm-hmm.
Men, you cannot, and I mean really, you cannot talk to women the way you talk to other men.
Yeah.
You pretty much need to talk to women, hopefully, the way you would talk to your sister or your mother or your grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So there's ways you should be able to talk. Like even if you want to say, well, you got a lot of food in there, you're eating too much. And I don't know why he got a problem with her eating. Did she say she was fat or something?
No, she was saying she was feeling self-conscious, all right?
About what?
About her weight.
Okay.
And so then he would say, maybe, you have had a lot of stuff in the fridge recently.
So why couldn't he just say, baby, I love you the way you are? This is what I'm saying. Like a simple conversation.
Mm-hmm.
A man has to feel like, let me give you
the solution.
The solution.
Yeah.
When all she was saying is, all she wanted to do is to say is, I love you the way you are, baby. No matter what you look like, you are looking good. You look gorgeous every time I see you. When you step out that door, you look good. When you come over here, you look gorgeous. When your hair is all over your head, you got slobber crust coming down your face, you look good.
Well,
that's what she wants.
Because he probably don't, though.
Then you need, like, there's sometimes, you're going to have to be able to, like, create a thing about it, not have a conversation. Like, if she gets to the point where she's too heavy, she can't do some stuff or something like that, you should then, have, like, a decent conversation. But when she's saying, I'm self-conscious,
mm-hmm.
she really is just asking for you to say something. And how much food somebody got in the house doesn't mean that's what they eat.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And like I said,
see, I don't understand. Look,
because it's like one of these things, like, we've always had a lot of food in our house. And I think when you grow up in my day and age, always usually have a lot of food in the house. Didn't mean that's what people did, was eat all the time. We just had food, so we didn't have to always go grocery shopping. Nobody want to go to grocery shopping every 2 or 3 days, once a week. I hate going grocery shopping once a week. And I got to do it for my business. So I'm just saying, it ain't something we just growing up wanting to do. So my thing is, there's ways to say something. Just understand a woman's heart is what you're carrying. So you want to be gentle to that woman's heart. No, we ain't doing all that. We ain't doing all that. See there, and see, there's about to be a fight over here.
Yeah, see, focus over there.
No, See, we're gonna have to come back after these messages. We're about to fight over here.
Well,
family meeting.
Prince Daniel, he said, "Did y'all find out what you gonna name your relationship channel?"
Yes,
it's gonna be Love Lounge.
Love Lounge. It's gonna be coming out in November, whatever that Wednesday is.
Yeah, so we're gonna be rebranding it. But Wellness with Frugal Mama said she watched the video earlier. The husband got the wife a gym membership for Valentine's Day, knowing his wife had been working on her weight. That was super insensitive.
Exactly.
GJ3 said, interesting. Wellness with Frugal Mama. I feel like something like that. It is the insensitivity.
That is insensitive.
And even like what we're saying with this instance, now he's feeling uncomfortable, but doesn't really care to think about how he made her feel uncomfortable. So,
no, he's only thinking about how she's now reacting to what he said.
Yeah.
And so now everything is where I'm uncomfortable with, because now I'm reacting to everything you said. We ain't cool no more, because apparently what she took from what you said is,
again, stay focused on your live.
I can't.
Talking to my daughter.
Okay, I can't.
She too nosy.
I am. It is a nosy.
Nothing to do with her.
ain't got nothing. But I was like,
close to her stuff, she gonna be in our business if we don't.
so anyway, my thing is, all she took out of what you said was, I'm not good enough for you. That's how she took it. She took it that you personally don't think she's good enough for you. So you did all that, and you're like, well, I don't know why she's treating it like it's uncomfortable. It's because you made her feel like she was a less than a woman for you. Instead of just saying, baby, you look good. What are you talking about? Why are you self-conscious? And if she can blurt out, well, I think I need to lose weight. Do you want to do something together? We can start, what you want to do that, what do you want me to do to help you make you feel better? You know what I mean? Something like that. But literally, all she wanted to know is that she was good enough for you and that she was attractive enough for you and that you are happy with the woman that you have. That's what she was looking for. And instead of that, you gave her a solution to something she didn't even ask a question to. She didn't say, I don't know how to lose weight. She didn't say, I don't know what to do. Why am I gaining? She didn't say any of that. She was just saying what she felt uncomfortable with, and you were supposed to clear her mind and say, baby, you look good. You are sexy and fine. You the way I want you to be. And that's what she was expecting. Instead, you gave her a solution to a problem that she didn't even ask.
She didn't ask. Yeah. And again, I think, on the men's side, we always are looking for a solution. But even then, the way that you go about it is also really bad. Even if you're gonna go with that train of thought, even saying that was just not the way to go. That's just rude. And like Wellness with Frugal Mama has said, it's the sensitivity. Like what you did was kind of very similar to what this guy did in this instance. He give you the gym membership for Valentine's Day. But something like that is just crazy. It feels very backhanded. It feels, again, puts her in an uncomfortable situation. Now she can't really necessarily be comfortable because that was a call to action. I was a clap. You were supposed to clap back with something positive, something uplifting, or just even a conversation. Let her vent or whatever it may be. Oh, I thought you was already on the charger. But yeah. So with that being said, that's just no good.
Yeah, and Eli does that a lot too. I don't know what it is. And I remember sitting here having a conversation with Eli because he does that insensitive thing a lot as well. And I have to sometimes remind him, talk to me as a woman. Don't talk to me as no dude. I'm not a dude. Talk to me as a woman. But and I also had this conversation like you were raised with women. Why are you like this? Why are you insensitive if you were raised around women? And his response was, because I'm a man. No, there's plenty of men that have been raised by women and they know how to talk to a woman and establish a relationship with a woman. You talk like you've been just around cavemen your whole life. And I'm like, what? There's a problem with that. Like, why are you walking around with a caveman, like a caveman mentality? And just as much as I get on women to understand that men are not like us, men need to understand you're not like us either. And there's ways to come and talk to us to get things into a conversation that's healthy. You ain't gonna talk to a child in a grown way because they're not going to understand your grown way methods. You got to come to them at their level. You got to come to a woman at her level, and women got to come to men at their level. That's just how it is.
All right, definitely agree with what Queen Lenore was saying with that sentiment, with that statement in general. There is a translation that you got to kind of understand, and again, with that, for me, looking at this situation, they're older relationship, maybe not, more mature in the relationship, but something like that. I don't know. I just don't know how you hit that wall where you feeling like you're just going to jump out and say something like that. Maybe you feeling more comfortable, whatever. Now she's inside the house or whatever it may be. But just know that you made a mistake right there. You're gonna have to clean that one up. But are you ready?
You need to make her feel like you love her just the way she is. And now that's what you need to do. To break whatever the cycle is, you need to make her feel special to you.
And are you ready for the next one?
Yeah, I guess we're done.
So, because we're just getting into the uncomfortable subject. So this one right here. This one is not necessarily a question of being uncomfortable, but just a general question. So we've got people in their young early 20s here, and they're having an issue. So they feel like they're compatible, everything is going well, but the problem is they both got mental issues, and they both are very understanding of that. Like she don't feel she's in a good place, he don't feel like he's in a good place. They have diagnosis and different stuff like that that just kind of improving that they're not necessarily in the best mental state or have the best mental health, but they do love each other. And so, with that being said, I mean, they love each other. They don't want to hurt each other, but they wants to know: do you feel that you can be with somebody despite a mental challenge? And what would you say for that?
The kind of mental challenge?
So, like whether that be depression, whether that be people with bipolar, people with, I mean, just any kind of mental issue. The ones that you kind of hear commonly is stuff like depression or bipolar or I don't know, whatever mental challenge it may be. It could even be something like autism or whatever it may be. Do you feel you can still be successful in a relationship despite your mental issue?
Well, I'm gonna say, well, somebody autism, yes. Depression, maybe not, and bipolar, probably not.
What?
Man.
that was crazy.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because one, if we're naming them and you've been legally diagnosed, is a totally different. I think everybody's bipolar, personally. I think everybody has some mental issues personally, and they go through depression. Personally, it just really depends on the person that is in that situation. If you're a depressed person and you're happy staying depressed, and you're not trying to fight your way out, which first you got to know that you're depressed to be able to fight your way out. But those are those conversations. Bipolar, I don't know, because what I see of real people who've been diagnosed with bipolar, if they stay on their meds, it's healthy. And if they don't, it's not. So I don't know, but I'm giving you my opinion in that way. But if you're just a normal person that everybody's claiming you got bipolar because you're crazy and you're bipolar, then hey, everybody got bipolarness in them. Everybody got some kind of mental issues in them. And I think everybody has like some autistic in them, ADHD in them. I think we all have the things. Some people just have more than others. And yes, you can be in a great healthy relationship with anybody with that. But when you're diagnosed, I don't know, because I really don't know.
This is not a field that you can understand. So, like, even looking at it in the lens, right? So, say people get depressed, right? You feel just low, all that, right? Well, I would say in the instance, let's say no matter what you're feeling, you still feel low. Mm-hmm. No matter what you try, no matter what you do, you can even have the fight, but you're still just not feeling low. But you still love this person deeply. You don't necessarily want to bring them down, but you love them a lot.
But you're talking apples and oranges right now to me, because you're saying, can you be in a relationship with somebody? Now I'm already in a relationship. Like, we were good, and then you went into depression. That's a different type of conversation. Yeah. But if I come into it and I meet you and you're already depressed and you haven't gotten no better, it might not be a form that I can work with you on that. I don't even know if I'm really in love with you, or I'm just happy to be with somebody and don't want to be by myself. Literally in that area, because the people I've seen personally who are depressed, I kind of keep my distance because they don't want to get out the funk, and I don't want to get in the funk with them. Like, it's just what it is. And not saying that they don't want to. It's just, for me, it doesn't seem like they're trying and to get out the funk. You know what I mean? There's not go get you some help. And tell the truth when you go get help. Because a lot of people be in depression and then they go get the help, but they're lying. So you're really not getting help. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is more so like, even though people might feel like they're at a place where they might be confronting it, it depends on like the level for you. So say you were in a relationship with something happened to them, and whatever it may be, they were diagnosed with actual depression. So no matter what, they They just have something going on where they already just generally feel love.
That's a different conversation again. If are we trying to join in a relationship, or are we already in a
So
relationship?
what happened was in this situation, all right, they've been in a relationship.
So let's say
Then
that.
they're at a point right now where they want to jump back into the relationship because it wasn't like a long break or anything. They just was like, pretty much broke up, but they're like, we want to be back together. But they don't want their mental situation to get in the heat of everything. Like say you GJ3 came through with something right here. We got to get what GJ3 saying. He said a lot of different words. On the last one he was saying keyword ways. There's a way for everything. You just got to learn the way, and you got to pay attention to her, and she got to pay attention to him to learn the way. Love is a two-way street. I like the way you put that together. And GJ3 said mental challenge. I mean, it could be possible, but one is going to need or have patience to be in any relationship, even if it's family. With one of that is mentally challenged, however.
I agree.
And he said they also consider depression and anxiety to be the mental illness nowadays too. And people of any kind of relationship is going to need a lot of patience when they're dealing with, especially if they're living with anyone that has some sort of mental illness today.
And I agree.
And GJ3 is saying that they consider depression and anxiety. So that's a good duality right there. So you're dealing with somebody who has a severe case of depression and a severe case of anxiety. Maybe they are going back and forth, kind of triggering each other in a different way. Do you feel like they can still be in a successful relationship?
Well, I'm gonna put it this way: it's what you want to be. Because if you're already in a relationship with somebody, y'all broke up, get back together, break up, get back, whatever the case may be, that's totally different than starting a relationship with this person. So since I didn't get that information in the beginning, you can't. You can't say both sides of the fence. I can only talk about one. So if you're talking about I'm in a relationship with you and you are going through this, it's totally different than if I'm starting a relationship with you.
Yeah.
If I'm starting a relationship with you, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't have the patience. I don't think I'm going to have the tolerance to deal with it because I got to deal with my own craziness.
No, that's what I was saying with both sides. So
not both sides though. It's different.
Well, because that's a different aspect.
That's why I gave my first answer, and then you just kept going back into being in a relationship. So you did not. So
I didn't give you the information with them being in a relationship.
Yeah, because when I answered it as we jumping into a brand new relationship, and you kept going back to, well, if you've been in a relationship, those are two different scenarios.
Exactly. Well,
so you kept coming back into being in a relationship. So as this is the conversation that I'm going to answer of being in the relationship, because that's the one you kept focusing on.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going with. In a relationship, this is where you have to choose. Do you have the tolerance? Do you have the patience? Do you have the understanding capacity for that person who is going through? Because see, it's different with me dealing with somebody, my mama or my family member, my kids or something like that, having this issue. Yes, I can tolerate it because it's my kids. But as my man, and I'm going in and out of this relationship with you, is it something I can deal with? Because apparently I can't, because I'm going in and out of this relationship.
Yeah.
And say, if he keep breaking up with me, I don't want to be tolerated, because once we break up, in my book, I don't want to keep going back and forth. It's not a game that I like to play. So it wouldn't happen anyway. And you could say, well, it's because I'm depressed. No, it's because you broke up with me. So, because if you break up with me, that I don't believe that we can make it in a relationship if you break up with me.
It's just, you feel like it's just going to be...
No, because I'm not doing that when I get married, because there's no such word as the D word in marriage for me. So I'm not going to tolerate it. So if you can't stay with me and we are not married, show ain't trying it. Because usually when you're in a relationship, it's going to the next level, which is hopefully marriage for me. So for me, I'm going to say, no, I wouldn't tolerate it because I don't have time to deal with it. If I feel like I have to break up with you, or you feel like you have to break up with me, then no, it's not tolerated. It's not something I want to deal with. Apparently, I don't have patience because I'm either using this breakup or you using this breakup to manipulate a situation, and I don't like to be manipulated. You know what I mean? So I'm just personally can't deal with somebody can have the anxiety, their depression, or this and that. Not saying that somebody else should. I'm just saying the reason why I can't, because I'm not in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, not looking to be married. Because if that's the case, I will stay dating. There was a season in my life I wasn't having a boyfriend or girlfriend, and you can ask all my kids. I told them in the beginning, why not just not be boyfriend and girlfriend and just date a whole bunch of people? And then when you finally do accept them, everybody's gonna be, how did that person get that person? Because that person don't believe in dating. Like, why do all that? Get all whatever you want to do. You know, you ain't gotta cheat. You can date 15 million girls, date 15 million guys, not have sex, just date. Get that out your system so then you know what you're looking for in a quality of somebody. I don't believe anybody should be in a relationship just to be in a relationship and there's no goal of marriage. That's my belief. You don't have to believe in it, but that's my belief. And I'm not going to tolerate dealing with it. Now, if I have patience and we ain't broke up, and you ain't broke up with me and I ain't broke up with you, and I have patience, and there's sometimes I might have to walk away because you making me come out of my character because of your depression or your mental illness, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And that's a different conversation. That's why I really believe it's something you have to see what you like.
It's a personal. It's a real personal.
It is.
Because like what you say, what you were saying, Quentin, or either way it goes, on jumping in a relationship, or let's say maybe they transition during the relationship or whatever may happen, you knew and you accepted it. Either way it goes, it's going to take, like what GJ3 was saying, a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And so then it's going to, you already need patience in a relationship. But then now they doing off the wall stuff. And you got to, instead of taking that moment, want to instantly react or instantly feel some type of way, now got to buffer that on top of already trying to have your normal patience. So you being tested 2 times and you feel like, okay. And, you know, at first it might be cool, it might be smooth, you might be accepting, but again, stuff like that can build up. So then it gets to a point where it's like, oh snap, you know, now whatever I got going on might be triggering a result, and then we going back and forth, just getting crazy, just getting
that's what he said.
Because I mean, a regular relationship can already get wild. But if you already know and you already have mental stuff that you already battling, and then you haven't been able to really get that in a stable place on a personal level, and then you with somebody else who's in that same situation, then you guys are not only fighting yourselves within a relationship that you're already gonna do butt heads and everything like that. Now you're fighting your mental illness at the same time. So definitely, I feel like that is, I guess, something to consider as well, and it's something I guess to talk about because. Though it may be uncomfortable, you got to talk about the ups and the downs. Yeah. But we got to welcome somebody in. We got Chill Will Crew. Chill Will Crew in the building.
How are you?
Chill Will said hello. You are. I pray you okay and have an amazing day on
thank
purpose.
You. We need all the
have an amazing day on purpose. She said, "Oh wait, let me catch up on the video."
Yes.
And we got to welcome somebody back. We've got Vince Yours back in the building. Back. What's up, y'all?
Yes. How are you?
Chat. Now GJ3 said yes, indeed. I'm just looking at that title right now. Why relationships can be uncomfortable. It's turning into the title now. And Chill Will said, you know, my opinion, if he leaves, stay gone.
That's what I say.
You're not into that person, but he would put more effort. I would put more effort into a man that loved me genuinely and loyal to the marriage or relationship.
Exactly.
Chill Will said part 2, in my opinion, because we never know. We might need that help. But I'm married, even though that in that single life, you're going to have to keep going. You're going to have to leave. You're going to stay gone, Tyrone.
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to be able to, you know, what you, like in a relationship, it's going to be different. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. You're when you're dating and then going to being boyfriend and girlfriend to going into marriage, it leads to that. And you're showing me signs of who you are. So if you breaking up with me, I already know I don't want to be with you. And I don't need to waste time with you. I think we sometimes stay in relationship wasting time. I don't have time to waste. Now, I don't care if you have a mental issue or that. If I'm dealing with it, we're in a relationship, and I'm dealing with it, I'm coping with it, there's going to be some time to be like, ooh, okay, I'm going to choke the mess out of this dude right now. You know, you get that moment of feeling, but you be like, you know what? I understand this person has that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're
Because
battling this.
I
let
do.
me-
I
let
get
me
that
be a little
understanding
more
that this
clear-headed
person
with it.
has that. Because I don't think a lot of people consider things in your life could change your mentality.
Yeah.
So I've been noticing a lot of people get mad at people when their mentality change. You get something, somebody tells you you have the big C, or there's a lot of death in your family, or you got some kind of something that's wrong with you. It can change your personality, your dynamic, and everything. And sometimes people be like, "Well, I'm going through the same thing you're going through. It didn't change me." That's you.
Mhm.
It's me. I can't handle it. I always say, per like Elias' family versus our family. His family is so big that they got family passing away every 5 seconds. Well, my family is so small. One person passed away, it changed the dynamic of our whole family. And it hurts me more than it would hurt him, because even though he would hurt, it ain't gonna change really his dynamic or his personality, because they're used to it. Where it might change my whole personality. So you're gonna need to have an understanding. Yes, there's gonna be a depression. I might walk and talk the same, but there's some depression. I might get irritated a little faster than I used to. There's just things that might change. I think like my goddaughter, niece, daughter, she's just my daughter. Anyway, my niece daughter passed away. I'm more emotional. I cry at anything now, except stuff in real life. Like I put on a TV show that I'm crying. You know, somebody getting shot in front of me, I'll be like probably like this. I don't have the same thing. I don't know what it is. It just changes.
Mhm.
The older I've gotten, I change. I have more of a I don't care attitude. It's the I don't give a F attitude. I really don't. So it's you have these different changes,
Yeah,
but
you got
people don't
different
tell you
evolutions
that.
or whatever it may be. It can
Yeah.
be good or bad. You just
Yeah.
you gain a tolerance, or
Or you
don't
don't.
understand it, whatever it may be.
And you lose it or you gain it, whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. It's each person is to their own.
Mhm.
Some other people might get this age and it's graceful. They're still as young and vibrant mindset as 20.
Yeah.
That's cool, but that doesn't mean that's me.
Yeah.
And I think we have to understand that you're gonna have those changes. So my thing is, if you're in a relationship and this person is having that change, or the person got depressed or something like that, maybe figure out how you can help without saying how can I help, because they probably don't know if they're depressed, they don't know how to ask for whatever help they need because they don't know. But you know, more listening, more understanding, more guiding, more prayer on your side, you know, those type of things.
Yeah. Well, we got a question. All right. And so we're gonna get to that right after we get with we gotta welcome somebody in, then we're gonna get with that. We gotta welcome my boy, he's in the building. We got John 17,
the
OG
gameplay and
Well,
more.
we got John in the building. He said
Hey,
relatable.
John.
How you doing? Now Vince Shores is coming in saying, okay, your experience usually determines how you react to things or don't react to things. Things happen in life that change our perspective.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. She said it so much better than I did. Thank you.
Jesus 3 said, "Oh, question. All right, if someone doesn't cry for something, does that make them not care?"
No.
No, of course not. Well, you want to say something on that one, Queen Lenora?
My thing is, everybody's emotions are different,
Yeah.
and sometimes things can irritate us. But yeah, some people just don't cry over things.
Mhm.
My sister, I think if I was on my deathbed, she's not shedding no tears. Even when they say, "Oh, she's dead," she's not shedding no tears.
Yeah.
But she probably be the most main one hurt, and it's probably gonna hurt her a lot. But she just doesn't shed tears. That's how it was when our dad died. It was like me and my mom, and she like this, looking at the dead body, like, you know, she doesn't have that emotion. Doesn't mean that she didn't care about dad. Yes, she loves dad. She knows his birthday. She knows way more about dad than I do, and I was with him way longer than she was. But that's because she carries it totally different.
Yeah.
Some people can go to a funeral or go to a death and just start laughing. That's their mechanism on how to handle it. It's irritating. It will make people mad. That's how it is. I'm a hold a grudge person. So my thing is, if you wasn't being all kind to the person when they was alive, best believe you're not coming to the funeral and thinking you're gonna be all kind and nice at the funeral, and I'm there. I already told my mom she ain't having nobody at her funeral, and there's gonna be security guards saying, "Did you get an invitation? Oh, you can't come in." Like there won't be nobody at her funeral because I'll be like, "Where were you when she was alive? You remember when you was dogging my mama out?" That's the type of chick I am. So we all have different personalities. So if somebody doesn't cry, does not make them not care. It just that's how they don't handle it with crying.
Yeah. Well, GJ3 with this one, yeah, everybody feels different things differently, whether that's pain, whether it's happiness. I mean, we all can cry at different moments of time. Some people don't cry, can't cry, whatever it may be. And it just harks back to what Aventurers was saying. You know, people's how they react to things is all based on their upbringing. Somebody could be so used to something or so in a mode of something where it doesn't even they don't feel the pain anymore, and that's good or bad. I mean, a lot of instances that's usually bad because you're holding it back or whatever it may be. But even if that's the instance, doesn't mean that they don't still feel the pain. Don't mean they don't feel the happiness, whatever it may be. It might soften the blow a little bit, but they can still feel whatever it is. And I mean, and a lot of people, they don't always show emotion. I mean, one thing is like you got people who just might not even know how to react on emotion. They could be the happiest person ever. They love everybody around them, but they just can't act that, or they show it in a way you wouldn't even believe it.
Yeah.
So for instance like that, yeah, if someone don't cry, it does not make them not care. I don't agree with that one. And eventually, I crack jokes at funerals to keep from crying. And eventually, also said earlier, your experience usually determines how you react. And this is what we were talking about here with that instance. GJ3 said, yes, you see, everyone is different on how they do things. And GJ3 said, everyone is different. They may take things too. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's something you have to be also when it comes to, let's say, these relationship topics and things that are uncomfortable. What's comfortable or in a good area for somebody might not be for somebody else. You know, you got people who I love to, let's say an extreme example. You got people who will skydive or something like that. Other people, they that's fear. They're uncomfortable doing something like that. You know, whatever floats your boat. Some people, they're good at talking. Some people, they can't talk. Some people are really good at, let's say, being affectionate. Some people just can't do it. They can't wrap their head around it. And so whether they want to or not, it just happens. You got to be understanding of people. And that's really the main thing. Just trying to understand or bridge the gap. Because you're never going to really get somebody 100%. You can just try your best. You know, especially with people who haven't been through something, they find a hard time relating. And it's like, you don't always have to relate. Just have that understanding. Like, oh, that person went through whatever, they act that way. You know, just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
It's part of like the being sensitive or insensitive kind of thing. You know, somebody's going through something. You could be that person and press their buttons, but do you really want to be like that? Like, you know, they've been through something. Do the kind thing and move accordingly. But Aventura said because once that music hit and the person can sing, it's all waterfalls. And like even me, like in terms of funerals, I ain't ever had I don't feel like a boohoo moment at a funeral, but like real just tears flowing, cry, you know, going through that emotion. But don't mean I haven't felt anything for anybody at a funeral. It's not necessarily that. It's just we all show how we feel in different ways.
Well, when I go to a funeral, I don't care if I never ever met you. I'm gonna cry like a big little baby, and we can't breathe and everything else. Because I shouldn't go to funerals personally, but yeah.
GG3 says bottom line. All right, you better know people today, especially if they're close to you.
There you go.
And yeah, that's a good bottom line. Now, I did have another. You want to pull out your phone, Queen?
Can I pull up my phone?
Yeah, I got some on your phone.
There it is. My phone.
All right, we're gonna go and let's see. So we're gonna talk about different things and how you may be able to feel uncomfortable with that thing. All right. So let's see. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. There we go. Boom. All right. So we kind of got this little bit of breakdown. So lack of communication, right? Misunderstanding and unspoken feelings can create tension. What does tension mean? Discomfort. So you want to talk about maybe an instance of something that might be just like uncomfortable with lack of communication.
There was a time in like me and my husband's relationship where I wanted to talk to him about something, but because of his reaction, it made it like really uncomfortable to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, it's hard for me to talk to you because of the way you respond.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what the situation was. I'm trying to come up with it, but I can't think of
Mhm.
it. But I remember my emotions about it. Like, this is why I talk to my friends. This is why I keep them so close to me.
Yeah.
Because I could talk to them about anything, and I don't have to worry about no judgment or it's putting on me. Because if you know my personality, if I'm saying it out loud, pretty soon I'm going to like know what I need to do or what my faults were or whatever. Sometimes I just need to hear myself say it
Mhm.
to actually do it. Because if you come at me, the moment you come at me wrong, I no longer can hear your definition. So sometimes I need
Yeah,
to
your
be.
perspective. Like, let's say, for example, right? We're
Mhm.
talking to this Queen Lenore is telling me how she's feeling, right?
Mhm.
I say something and it just got her going left. Now it's war. Now it's red. And what you're trying to say is like sometimes you just need to vent, have that kind of conversation. Is that what you were trying to
Well,
say?
no, I was just like, I wanted to talk to him about, say, I wanted to go on such and such and such. And,
Mhm.
I was a housewife at the time, so I wasn't bringing in any money. So I wanted his money,
Mhm.
and which is our money. But, I wanted to use the money for whatever it was.
Yeah.
But because he was going to go and get mad and irritated,
Yeah.
I didn't want to ask
Made
him.
it
And as
uncomfortable
I
for you
said,
to even go to.
why am I married to you if I can't speak my mind freely
Yeah.
and ask without the big thing? You could just say, let me think about it, and come back and say no and give me a reason why there was a no, than doing all the huffing and puffing and blowing the house down. Just be open and transparent with me on the thing. Like, let me think about it. Even in your head, it's like, why? What is wrong with this heifer? Why? You just come back and be like, no, because financially, it ain't gonna work for us. Bother, bother, bother. And I can get the understanding better, especially if you explain it. I'm like, well, that makes sense. I might want to do it. It makes sense, But I remember having a conversation saying that because I don't want to be uncomfortable. One thing I refuse to be is uncomfortable or in prison in my marriage.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people use that of why they should get a divorce
Yeah.
or why they should get that because they feel in prison. But you need to open up.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's all solvable. I feel like at the end of the day, if you're gonna be one on one with somebody, you can get through anything.
Yeah.
You just have to be ready and willing. And both parties have to be, but at least you can say you're doing your best on your end too.
Because I realize that no matter how long me and my husband have been married, he cannot read my mind. And I feel the same way. Like, I cannot read your mind, so you have to actually express it. And sometimes it's uncomfortable because of the way somebody is going to react to what you say.
I think that's a good point to really point out right there is the reaction. That's something that could be uncomfortable. Communication, all right, that's one way you can create discomfort is how you react to things. I mean, and I would arch back to say on my turn, I can understand really both sides. I feel what Queen Lenore said, similar instances you can feel that way in terms of, oh, maybe I can't say certain things or say whatever it may be. Then there's also the case of you doing it. You can cause discomfort, and it's always good to be mindful because even like what we were saying earlier, I know I've been in a situation where, like Queen Lenore said, you got to check who you're talking to. My wife, she be saying whatever, like she be saying, trying to tell me how she feels, and I take that, trying to be a problem solver. Let me put this into equation. Yeah, it's not always for that. You got to be mindful, and when you're in a relationship, understand you can do things that make people feel uncomfortable. And do you want to do that at the end of the day? And like Queen Lenore says, sometimes it might be hard to voice the discomfort, or you don't even want to necessarily bring up the conversation. But eventually, right here, communication is key. When you're able to really get to that point of actually talking to things, it feels so much better. you feel at least, even if you're not in the best place with the communication, you feel like you're at least moving forward because you are talking and having a discourse. But GJ3 said, create discomfort by the way you react. What a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it is, a lot of it is that you hear a lot of people feel like they've been shut down, or their opinion doesn't matter, or they're not able to be freely able to talk in a relationship, and all this other stuff that comes along with it. They just feel stifled into this relationship, and then the other party is confused, and they're like, well, why can't you talk free? Why can't you do this? But they're the person that's cutting you off. They're the person that's not listening. They're the person not doing this. Or it could be both people are doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's just that at the same time, everybody feels stifled in their conversation, which makes them feel like I'm not being heard. And it only takes one person to come in and listen to you. And because they don't have no investment, nothing planted, nothing to help this relationship grow, they can listen to you and they can keep their opinion to themselves because it don't matter to them. Like, this is what it is. And this is how cheating comes in. And it's not like just physical cheating. I'm talking about emotional cheating and all that, because it comes in so naturally that I feel more comfortable talking to him, or Chris can feel more comfortable talking to her because she's actually listening. But she has no investment. She ain't planting no seeds in this relationship. So, of course, she can sit there and listen and keep watering it and stuff. And pretty soon it's just overly watering. You're going to drown in it because there was nothing to grow. There was nothing that was stable for the relationship to grow. And then when you get into another relationship, what they say is, oh, you remind me of my ex. Oh, you remind me, because you get to still say the same person and never take ownership for what you done. But like Adventure says, Tanya said, communication is the key. I agree 100%. But what communication is, you have to be able to listen. And if you're so ready to always be right, then you're going to lose out and wonder why you don't have a relationship. Because you won. You got what you wanted, was to win. So if that's all you want in your relationship is to be the winner, you're still going to be the loser because you lost this relationship in the communication battle. And you could go, oh, I communicated because I talked. That's not communication all the way. That's just a part of communication. The other part is listening and understanding the other person's perspective, even if they don't agree with you. That is communication.
I feel like that's really the big hurdle too, though. Is that mean, because like you said, you can say a million words, but at the same time, a million words can mean nothing.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's said in a million words could be said in maybe 20. Like, it don't really. It could, the same thing can be conveyed or construed. So Adventure says, same here, Lenore. Sometimes my husband, he has a few insecurities in terms of knowledge when compared to me. So when I ask questions and we're talking, instead of him taking it as I'm getting clarity, he looks as if I'm challenging him or making him feel like he's stupid.
Yeah. And my husband used to make it seem like we were in competition. And I'm like, I'm not in competition with you because I can't be in competition with you. We are as one. How am I going to be in competition with my own self? You know what I mean? And I think when you get that, like, okay, I'm in competition. So like with your husband, like, she's trying to get clarity. I think that's something you might have to drill in his head. I'm just getting clarity. I'm not challenging your knowledge. I'm trying to understand what you're saying because in my mind, I'm not comprehending. Doesn't mean you're not saying it clear enough. You're just not saying it where I cannot comprehend it because it's hard. Like, you can give me, you can say something very clear that everybody in the world can understand, and I will sit there and look like a deer caught in a headlight because I'm not understanding. But then you finally just break it down and say something simple, and it's like, oh, and all of a sudden these pieces come together. But some people take that as being challenged, and it's not. I remember when my husband basically.
UPS.
No. When my husband was like, I remember on one of our big major arguments before we got married. Okay, you won. How can I win in this relationship? Like, there's no way to win. I'm trying to get what you're saying. There's no way to win.
Yeah, it's not a game. We ain't playing somewhere where you kick the goal and now you win. It's not soccer. It's not football. It's not basketball. Whatever it may be. You're not scoring points on each other.
Yeah, my thing is, if I win, I still lose because you lost.
Mm-hmm.
So the win ain't even a win.
Yeah.
And if you win and I lose, you still lost because the win still ain't a win. So once we kind of got that mellowed out into our relationship, we don't have as major arguments as like normal people say. They have to have an argument to be in a good, healthy relationship. Well, we always in a bad, healthy relationship because me and my husband don't argue like that because we already realize who gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
So there ain't no reason to fight on like trying to win something that can't be won.
Definitely, we gotta welcome somebody. She in the place. She's saying hello. We gotta go ahead and welcome in Stace.
Hey, Stace. How you doing?
All right. We also gotta welcome in File. Not just any kind of file. We've got
the Bud Files.
Bud Files in the building. Welcome in. All right. Bud Files in the building. So I think even like what you said with that, it's just, it all kind of arcs back to even some of the other conversations we have. You got to think about what you're doing can affect somebody. You got to think about how your reactions are, all this different stuff, because how you communicate, whether that's whether you're listening, not listening, non-verbal stuff. You could be just not paying attention. You could just be making a face. You could be gesturing some type of way. All that can be taken and interpreted in some type of way. And so even like what Ventura is saying, sometimes they not understanding. We need clarity. Like I can be in that situation and be like, why are you coming at me like that? Like it all depends on how something's being said. Or I might not agree with how you're saying it or how you're bringing it to me. Or I could just be taking it the wrong way, not understanding or misunderstanding you or how you coming about it. So it all is really a working goalpost. And like Queen Lenore was saying, when you understand, like, we got the unity, we on the same team, I think it does change the thought. Now, getting there sometimes is the hard part. not sometimes. It is like 99% of the hard part. Understanding, all right, whatever I do to this person is only going, at the end of the day, be worse for me. I can react. I can do whatever, make a whole show, and you really just get into things or hurt this person, bring them down verbally with action. But at the end of the day, that's just going to spiral me in a downward position. You together. So getting that in that train of thought and that mindset is definitely not easy. It's the difficult part. But when you understand it, I think it does kind of open that opportunity up, because you could just have that different conversation, like, change the way that you say something. Oh, I realize I made you feel this type of way. Or I just was paying attention to you, seeing your reaction. That makes somebody feel good, like that you actually, even if they didn't necessarily say it or speak it, or they just trying to let it go past. Oh, I'm looking at you. I'm seeing that. I'm doing that. So
I agree. Yeah. And like I said, I love how Tanya was saying that, even with her and her husband. Mm-hmm. And that is a lot of where a lot of people do have that information, because even though you might be trying to get clarity, they just feel like you're trying to not get clarity. Yeah. It feels like you're trying to say, you can't understand me because what I'm saying is stupid or dumb. Exactly. And it's not that. It's just sometimes it's how we are interpreted, especially if we're in a discussion and I want you to understand my thought process. Mm-hmm. Of course, I can't understand what you're saying, because half the time I'm only getting bits and pieces in my head. Yeah. So I miss a big chunk of it. You know what I mean? Even like when Eli does the things over here and he's telling the story, I miss it because I end up zoning out. You gotta catch. I'm one of those people who gotta catch my attention.
You gotta simplify. We gotta make it so it's
quick and easy, so I can get it. Because you take a long time, I just don't get it. And so that's when you'll hear me go, "Okay, what did you say?" It's not that anything else. It's just for me on my, like, it might be perfect for you guys, but for my level, I lost attention time.
This is throwing them Z's in the chat.
Exactly. I do. I lose it real quick. And he knows when I lose it.
Yeah,
he knows my faces when I lose it.
We gotta welcome somebody in though. All right, we got Life with Aaliyah.
Hey, Aaliyah.
Hey, Auntie. This is the first thing I see when I get out of school.
Yeah, that's my goddaughter right there,
how
y'all.
You doing, Aaliyah? All right, and GJ3 said, just thinking now, how do you handle that when that happens, Vince yours?
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Tanya?
Good conversation, because these are, again, just different points of discomfort or things that make us feel uncomfortable. Now, another one is different values. You feel like different values can make you feel uncomfortable? Like, oh, I believe this, you believe that. I've grew up with this tradition, you grew up with that one. I mean, I guess that could. Conflicts can arise when partners have fundamentally different beliefs or priorities. Priorities is a good one too. I like to do this, you like to do that. So you have any discomfort when it comes to maybe like a different value or different priority or understanding?
I don't have a comfort on it. I just know that it can cause that issue.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, um, just enjoy what you're doing, enjoy yourself, and enjoy your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes your partner might not be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of getting all huffy and puffy about it, enjoy your life. Like your husband will get on the bandwagon when he wants to get on the bandwagon, but right now it might not be his thing.
Yes, definitely.
And that's how I had to do it when my husband wasn't feeling going everywhere with me and being around a whole bunch of women. It wasn't his thing. Now he's cool and he be wanting to go places, and I get sometimes in trouble because I forget to ask him, do you want to go? Because I don't be believing that he wants to go. I just because that's how we were for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, getting mad and having and I didn't get mad. I mean, I was upset because I was like, see, if I stop asking, you're gonna trip. So instead of me doing that, I just made it say, I don't like being like this. I'm gonna still do what I do. When you want to do it, join in. This is what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. See you when I see you. Bye. I get a hug, kiss, and we did. I still did what I was supposed to do at home. Still had time with him, but when it was time for me to go, I'd be gone like these.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see instance on like different values.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got to think about it too. Like, let's say even religion. Some people will get in a relationship and they might not, you know, they think they might be on a similar wavelength, but they got two different beliefs. Even let's say even Christians, you know, you got all different kind of Christians.
Oh, don't you?
You got even Mormons. Let's say Mormons, this for somebody who's Jewish or whatever it may be. You might have what you think is a similar idea, or you feel like you're worshiping the same God, but then the things that you guys do in service or that you don't do is now conflicting.
Well, you can worship the same God.
Exactly.
What your belief is.
Exactly.
You know?
What the belief behind it is. Like, let's say even you raising a kid, that's going to be a point of tension. That's going to be uncomfortable because now you got both of y'all ideas. I grew up this way. You grew up that way. That's tension. That's conflict. And that's uncomfortable. But you got to have those different kind of conversations. And I feel like definitely with priorities and beliefs that, what's up, Aaliyah? How you doing? It definitely can get into that point where you're feeling like that. Like, let's say you got also priorities. I'm the person, let's say I want a donut every week. And you the type, you saving by any means. Okay, I don't care what it is. That donut, what is that donut doing when we can buy whatever? Well, I want my donut. At the end of the day, I don't really care. I could care less what you feeling. I want my donut. I want we rich, we poor. I want a donut. I'll get a rich donut when I'm rich. I get a poor donut when I'm poor. But you know, well, you might be penny pinching, collecting coins, coming with the metal detector in the sand, trying to get any coin by any means. Well, that's gonna be a conflict. That's gonna be something uncomfortable because now you're trying to mess with what I got going on. So yeah. But like what Queen Lenora said, I feel like even despite anything, despite whatever it may be, there's going to be different moments where you're not on the same wavelength. You're not going to be synced up on everything.
That's true.
You can feel this way, they can feel that way. My perspective on this is this. We got politics. Politics are very divisive. But imagine a relationship where both people in the relationship are voting a different party. I mean, and they're really deeply invested in it. Well, that can be uncomfortable, but doesn't mean it can't be inoperable. Don't mean that needs to be the end of their relationship. You can align this way. I can align that way. Or we can simply agree to disagree. Yeah, but and they do, and it can be divisive. Yeah. But don't mean that it should be. And that's where it's saying like you can be in an uncomfortable situation. Oh, you align with this person because this, but they do bad stuff. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm voting for what they could possibly do, not what they've done in the past. We can get into that whole can of worms, but it really is points of saying different beliefs or priorities or whatever it may be can be uncomfortable. Aventura said, well, we've been married for 24 years now. We still argue about it after all this time. When it happens, I'll let them know why. And asking the questions, or why I'm asking the question. He says, I should know because all these degrees. Well, which is why I say he looks at it as if I'm challenging him instead of understanding that I just need clarity. Since sometimes sometimes what he says does not make sense. And his brain, it may be saying one thing, but his mouth is saying a different thing. And it's not until we finish arguing and go around and around that he then sees that he didn't say it the way he meant.
I know exactly how that is. I know exactly how that is. That is, yeah. That's.
And I can say that one too.
True.
I'll be on that. I'll be on that fence. I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, because you can be strong-willed about something, and then all of a sudden, what are you really fighting for at the end of the day? You
just don't understand, like literally, because Elijah, I have literally told Elijah, even when he was younger, he was in high school. I told him, I said, you just talk in circles. And I said, you think it's normal because nobody challenges you. It's because you say all these big words that absolutely mean nothing. Because then when you ask Elijah to clarify, he cannot. And then it gets longer and longer and longer to the point where you're like, never mind, I don't need it. And you don't say never mind. You just go, mm-hmm. And he done felt like he done said something. And he literally said, I'm going in a circle just to confuse you behind.
And see, even as we running through circles, right? Even as we rocking with that, I could be trying to say something, right? And I might not necessarily be feeling like I'm going in that circle. Or, I mean, you have to take that moment in self-awareness. And what I really like to really confine that idea to is depends on who you're talking to. Like, literally, you have to take that time and understand. It's that moment where you got to put a little translation layer. Like you said, you don't talk to a kid a certain type of way. You're not going to suddenly be, breaking down these crazy different things for a child. No, you want to come with the simplest form. And even what Queen Nora is saying, you gotta do whatever it may be so somebody can understand you. No. But you also have to look for that understanding too, and be self-aware. Like, I know I can get long-winded. I know I can be.
And it's not just the long-windedness with Elijah. It's the big words with the long-windedness. And then when you tell him to break it down, it literally had nothing to do with what you guys have been talking about this whole time. So it was just like I said, he'd be talking. And I think like he got away with a lot of stuff with his friends because literally they didn't know what the heck they were talking about. And because he was using these big words that they had no definition of, they just was sitting up there being quiet. And I was like, that is not, I don't believe that's true. I think, no, it is, because you absolutely are telling me from this long 18-hour drawn-out conversation that we had, all you was saying is you want to do it this way instead of that way. And that's all we could have been did. And you said stuff that had nothing to do with any of this conversation. So sometimes Elijah will see it, and he just still does it to this day, too, y'all. He'll do it, and I now just zone out, and I'll come back into the conversation and be like, oh, okay. Because literally, I'm waiting for whatever the conversation is, the plot of what we're talking about. Sometimes he can stay on track, but sometimes he's going to go into it. And the incapable can take that words, and I'll be like, I don't know what that means. And that to me is just a form of confusing me. Now, he might not be purposely trying to confuse me, but I'll be confused.
Well, Aventura said, if me seeking clarity because he has a history of not saying what he actually means, then I guess it is reminding him that he is consistently not using the right words to express what he really means.
Exactly.
And
you should feel comfortable doing it, even with the awkwardness of him getting frustrated, because in his mind, he's saying exactly what he wants to say. Yeah. But because of whatever that moment of that conversation is, it's heated, or it's, I'm trying to sound professional, or whatever the case may be, that breaks him into thinking he's saying one thing and another thing is coming out of his mouth. It's something to work on, because it's hard, because when we go out and about and communicating, we can then have that in our mind. I remember my wife never understood this, so let me think before I speak to say it. And then you will say it clear. You know what I mean? It can get irritating with the spouse, because you're like, you should know what I mean, Because I'll do that to you later. I'll say, yabba yabba dabba do. And you be like, what? You should know what I mean. You've been around me long enough to know what I mean. I do that a lot too.
Yeah, even with exactly, and it's the different. It's just the translation, understanding, right? We all trying to understand each other at the end of the day. If you want healthy communication, that's all you're trying to do is understand what somebody's saying. Relationships, the way that you can gauge what's going on is just by your interactions, because that's what what y'all got going on. If you would around other people, at the end of the day, humans, we want to interact.
Yeah.
Even if we got a language barrier, we want you to understand what we're saying, or we want to understand what you're saying, so we can continue having this back and forth.
Exactly.
Well, there comes hiccups when you're not able to express what you want to express, and I think like that comes like, and even with saying that, even on a physical level, we can do signs and all of that. So it don't really take too much to want to I like bring the conversation in a different light. Like, let me just put this word right here. Let me say it this way. Let me do it this way. And that's kind of how I put it. I equate it to like, just have a different mentality. You got like a different translation going on here.
Yeah.
Event Shores. We went through Event Shores. We got to welcome somebody in who hustles and hustles hard. We got Wiley Hustle.
Hey, Wiley, how you doing?
Hey, family, what's going on? And then we've got Event Shores saying different words mean different things.
Yeah.
So when someone uses a word, the other person on the other end is going to interpret and what they said in that different kind of way. They said, GJ3 said, oh yeah. So like, as even how a business partner would do. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
You're right.
You're right.
And Stacey said, Elijah, we were trying to say get on his level. I ain't
yeah.
Stacey,
That's exactly what you're trying to say. And I am not
nothing.
going to ever be on that level.
I ain't saying nothing. GJ3 said marriage is a union for a reason. There's a lot of ways that one can help one another today. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Venture said, GJ, just like how anyone I would assume would do, understanding what your partner is trying to relay determines what your response is going to be. It's no different than I said I can't versus I won't.
That's true.
Yeah. And eventually said they both mean two different things. Can't means you probably would if you knew how, and the other implies that you don't want to.
Exactly.
So that is important in a relationship, and I think that's cool too. Like
that is so
to
true.
understand that, like that stuff is pivotal. I mean, it's the language and how things are interpreted. We could say things in so many different ways, and it could be interpreted in so many. I mean, we got translations, for example. You might watch a show on the script. They talking about, oh, I want to eat a hamburger. The other one said, this hamburger looks so good. Well, those could be taken two different type of ways. You might be watching the show, the English or the dubbing, whatever it says on the script, the person went a little bit off script and they put their own flair into it. Well, just that can change the whole world of things. All right, that burger look good. Well, what you gonna do? Oh, I'm finna eat the burger. What you saying you gonna eat it? Like it's completely different, but still in a similar vein. So it could be small things that kind of just get things all wild up. GJ3 said, oh, wow, you just model how both need patience so well. Yeah, exactly. And that is true. Exactly. You got to take the time to be understanding on both sides. And I feel, your phone went off. I feel like that is a good point of just that first one that we were talking about, that communication and how that can cause comfort and discomfort. And it could be uncomfortable to talk about certain things, and it could be uncomfortable to even receive. Yeah. So I think that's just something good to kind of come at. But one of the last ones I kind of want to get at, because I do have a list of 10, but we ain't gonna get through no list of 10 because I thought we was gonna be, zooming through these. But
you know that I talk a lot.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. And we playing around, we trying new different things with the format and stuff like this. But another one I would say is criticism and judgment. That can make you feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Being judged definitely don't feel good. Being criticized don't definitely feel good. And it's a point of discomfort. What is something that you would say, or something you kind of want to add to the conversation when it comes to judgment or criticism?
Well, I feel like, in a relationship that we shouldn't be like criticizing, but it kind of, it goes with people's personality of thinking, what criticism is
Yeah.
versus what it is not. So that's kind of where that dynamic is going to
I
always
think there's
have
a key word though,
What?
because like what you're saying, right? They be thinking criticism, right?
Mm.
But then I feel even with that, I think the big split and divide is like criticism and then constructive criticism. Like, are you criticizing me with intentions of me being better, or are you just getting with it to get?
It doesn't really matter.
Because it's not black and white like that. But I think that, I mean, to me,
But that's what I'm saying. When you're talking about a relationship, it doesn't matter if I'm criticizing you, giving you constructive criticism versus giving you regular criticism.
Mhm.
You're gonna feel that way, period, because it depends on your emotions.
Yeah.
If you're like a person that is really strong and can take constructive criticism, then that's great. But first, the thing you got to do is acknowledge that's what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just think you're criticizing, like you're trying to change me from who I am to what you want me to be.
Mhm.
And a lot of times that's what people are trying to do.
Exactly.
In a relationship, instead of accepting one for who they are to the other person for who they are, there's going to be change. But you got to then say, is it okay to want somebody to change in a relationship, or should I just accept them the way they are because that's who I fell in love with? But if I this is me, I believe if we're growing in a relationship, that you should be pushing me to my next level of greatness, and I should be pushing you to your next level of greatness. Yeah. And that's how we should work on being in our next level. So to me, everything that I say, I can believe. And the key word is I can believe that it is constructive criticism, where you can just take it as criticism. You can just take it as I'm nitpicking, I'm judging you, I have my emotions about you, because that is how you're taking it. Doesn't mean that's what I feel like I'm giving to you. But then at the end of the day, I'm supposed to make sure you're okay. But then what you just did of thinking I'm criticizing you all the time is now making it where I can't talk to you. So we'll go back to our earlier conversation. I'm not allowed to be free and talk to you and give you my opinion. And now you now you stump me. And that's why people always are bumping heads in relationship, because
I like that what you just said.
Everybody is having this hard time on growing. Nobody wants to grow. Everybody just wants to be able to live their life without growing, without the constructive criticism, without the acknowledgement. So it goes back and forth, and people play and bump each other's heads all the time. And then it's like, well, I can't talk to this person, and I feel like I'm not free in this relationship. So why am I in this relationship? And that's how they back out of a relationship. Instead of saying, let me take back what he said. Okay, the person said it. I already screamed and shout because you done came at me, said this about me. Now let me acknowledge, am I really behaving like this? Am I really coming across like this? If that person did the same thing I did to them, would I be accepting of it if they respond like I'm responding? Or and then sometimes you gotta look at, am I wrong? And I've said that with my first husband. When I told you guys I got married and he cheated, I never said it was okay for him to cheat, but I understood what I did to how the cheating came into the relationship. Now he could have been 100% just a cheater. That might just be who he is. But when I look at my position, I was more like his mother, somebody who's always telling him what to do, instead of letting him find out his own mistakes and working it out, because he will never be a good husband to me if I don't allow his failures for him to grow to see it himself. So one thing I did when I got married to Chris is when Chris made a lot of mistakes, he just made the mistakes, and then he had to deal with the consequences in the relationship. And then it made him now be the husband that's perfect for me, and vice versa. I made a lot of mistakes with him, and then we now have this relationship where we are joined together. And never that I just let him flop in the relationship and be a fish without water. It was just like, okay, you made that mistake. You see this? This is what I was trying to say when I was saying it. So do you understand how I was saying it? And he could go, yeah. And Chris will tell me a million times, okay, next time I'm going to listen to you. And then we go through it to this day. The difference is I don't get mad like I did in the beginning. I just be like, well, if he flop, I'm here to pick him up and be there and explain what it is that needs to be done. And I think that's sometimes what we lose out on.
Well, Wiley Hustle right here saying the word criticism, you enough don't want to have to deal with that in your relationship or marriage. Yeah, just the word alone. You don't want to deal with no criticism.
Yeah.
GJ3 said, that's what it sounds like y'all are doing. We pushing him to be on his next level of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And now he also be doing the same thing with you to be as great as you is towards him too.
Exactly.
And that was towards Vince Yorks. They said, oh my, there's so many angles to look at this one today.
Yeah, it is.
So many angles to look at. So Wiley saying, I'm not against having a conversation about change. It's just how you word it or how it comes out and it's presented to me. Because if you say it aggressively, I'm gonna miss what you're saying.
No, and I agree with that too, because it is the way you come out. It's the way you say things. If you say things a certain way, you can lose a conversation. A lot of times when people are arguing, people are missing most of the conversation is because the term, and so now they just want to come to a rebuttal, and so they take a word that absolutely means nothing in the conversation, and then that's what they want to live on and argue about, and they'd be like, "What? Why are we arguing about this? This is not even what." But you said, but that wasn't the basis of the conversation. So how did you take this one word to be the basic? Because I'm trying to win this conversation. So I took the one word that I knew I could win this conversation and win. Instead of us saying that, we just be like, well, you said it. Okay, but that wasn't the basics of the conversation. You know what I mean? So it's those things that, it sometimes is the terminology of the way somebody comes at you. But a lot of times, majority of the time, people don't like criticism regardless if it's constructive or not. Mm-hmm. They don't like it. And then it's going to go back to you're going to shut their mouth or they're going to turn around and shut your mouth. And what you end up doing is shutting each other's mouth. And then communication is not being there and nobody being met and nobody's listening. Because everybody just thinks, and I'm going to say 1,000,002 times, thinks communication is just talking. It's not. You got to listen, you got to understand, and you have to acknowledge. And my thing is, if I'm saying all this to you and you're listening and you're understanding me and then you acknowledge me, and because I'm not used to this way, but you're still not agreeing with me, I feel like you didn't hear me. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole nother stream of conversation, because that part is you are only listening to change. You are only saying your part just to change my mind to agree with you. So I then do not have an opinion. So then I then shut up and end that conversation.
Well, and I think another thing to even look at is when it comes to this whole criticism, or let me see what the word is again. Criticism and judgment. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I feel like when you criticize or you're digging into somebody heavy, it just feels like you're just being judgmental. I mean, I think if you are really feeling like you want to critique somebody, and you want to do it in a constructive way, I think the best way you can do that is by leading them into the positive direction through, whether, like Queen Nora said, a reaction, like, oh, you understand things when this happens. So when I do this, I'm really feel this way, or I do this, it might be that case. It might be, it could be something simple like, oh, you don't understand that what I feel until it's done to you, or something like that. Oh, no, you ate my food, that leftovers I had in the fridge, let me eat yours. It could be something like that where, now we have that understanding. We understand each other. Not everybody's like that. Somebody might take that and be like, oh, now you was just, coming at me wrong or do it the wrong way. But it all works for different relationships. All that to say, if you are trying to have somebody understand your perspective or want them to grow in some type of way, meet them where they're at. You have to take some time to understand where their behaviors are or what they kind of do. What are their actions? You might think I do one action is going to immediately lead into something better, the growth of something. Let's say verbally. If I grill into you, get into you, just criticize everything that you got going on. Now all of a sudden after that whole conversation, oh, you a soldier, you ready for the line. Like, you should feel like you ready for war. Now you got everything. I said everything for you to be good. You should be the greatest soldier. But at the end of the day, if it didn't penetrate to them, there's no it was a waste of words,
Yeah, but a lot of stuff is really you have to understand when you're with your partner
Mhm.
and you're having these conversations, a lot of stuff tends to go off of how they grew up.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you can say all this stuff and how to say something,
Mhm.
but if your partner can't take it,
Yeah, exactly.
you're still knocking at wood. You could come to them, and say it is very polite, kind, loving, caring, and the person still feels like you're stabbing at them
Mhm.
because they grew up being stabbed at all the time.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is. So it's kind of those things where you have to. This is where becoming one is so important. So then I know that whatever you're saying to me is out of love.
Yeah.
It's not out of revenge. It's not out of judgment. It's not out of I'm just want to nitpick at you. It is a constructive criticism. It is out of love and care because I'm showing you no matter what, I'm standing next to you. No matter what, I'm standing by you. No matter what, I got you. And that's what you have to put into your partner for them to be able to take constructive criticism from you, take understanding of what you're saying, and not taking it into
The wrong way.
the negative. That's
Yeah.
what somebody's saying.
Well, Stacey said criticizing and finding fault and disapproving in a disapproving way. Speak to me with love or it's violence. Oh, she coming with the boxing gloves on. It's hands.
What it is.
It's straight hands over there. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get to
all
it.
over the place.
Yeah, things are going early.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Stacey said arguing about semantics is definite pet peeve of mine.
Yeah,
all right.
people do that.
While others said GJ3, I hate. I missed this from the beginning. I'm gonna have to rewatch this. Wally said, wasn't listening, waiting to speak instead of hearing words from the heart.
That right there is so very, very important to do, and we all do it. Sometimes you just have to stop yourself. Like even when I do it, I have to stop myself and say, "Listen, Lenora, listen. Don't have no response. If you don't have a rebuttal when the conversation is done, then you didn't need to say nothing." Like that is how I have to say it to myself because a lot of times I want to respond because I don't want to forget. So then I'm really not listening to you because I'm trying to hold on to this response that I'm saying so bad. So it's one of those things like, yes, you start writing down notes if you need to. Make sure you're getting what the person is saying because that's the main key. If somebody is talking to you, they want to know that you're listening. That's the number one thing they want to know is that you're listening. And I feel like that now because I start off just ignoring one person. So if you talk to me, my mindset leaves all the time, and now I ignore almost everybody. And it's not something I purposely do. It's now like I got to retrain myself to stay focused and listen. So yes, you nailed that. Yeah, right. Sorry, I had to agree with that 100%.
Well, Wally said, so I've been married for 22 years. If we had a misunderstanding, we have this rule. You got 24 hours to think about it. 24 hours and 1 minute, I'm on his head. All right. Just so you won't speak out of anger.
And that is really good. I wouldn't be able to do that personally because I'm impatient. You know, that's what we talked about earlier about patience. I am one of those people that are very, very impatient. And it takes me a while to realize that people need time to be able to come up with that. I was talking about I had a roommate. She got mad at me when I was younger. And I was like, oh, what you mad about? And she was like, I'll talk to you later. I can't talk to you about it right now. And I was like, well, just tell me so then I know not to do it. And then we could talk about it later. She didn't want to tell me at all. So I got mad. So then, of course, it came out to be a big blow up of a bigger argument. And to this day, I couldn't tell you what she was mad about. But I know I went off because I'm like, well, then when you want to talk to me, I don't want to hear it because I'm asking you. We don't got to have the conversation. I just need to know what you're mad about. So then I'll be prepared when you want to talk to me about it. And then I know not to do it until you're ready to talk to me. So I know I'm one of those people that if you don't tell me, I don't care. I'm not gonna listen to you later. It's just what it is. So I can't do that 24-hour hold. I can do if you say right now my tempers ain't at 100, Lenore, and I want to talk to you about this, and that. I might can hold off. And did you hear the keyword? I might can hold off. But I don't know if I can wait 24 hours because I'll be dreaming about it. Don't give me that much time to think. Just don't. Just take 2 or 3 hours, go boxing, do something, go ride a bike, do something where you can release it and then come back and talk to me. Because I promise you, I'm one of those people that be like, well, I don't want to hear about it. We waited too long. So if you can do like Wiley Hustle and her husband, and you got 24 hours and come back in 24 hours and a minute or 1 second, do that. Mm-hmm. But know yourself to know if you can handle that.
Exactly.
I cannot handle that. Personally. I'm one of those people, you mad at me, I can get mad at you and don't have a reason because you got mad at me. Mm-hmm. What? You can hear me. Oh, so-and-so don't like me. I don't like them either. And I'm holding on to it. I just don't like you. Why? Because she didn't like me. She does not liking you. That don't mean I'm done.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just not one of those people. So know who you are. Don't just take my advice or anybody's advice. Know your personality to do it. That works for them. And they've been married 22 years. That's great. What events yours do, Tanya and her husband do, works for them. They've been married 24 years. What me and Chris do, it works for us. We've been married 25 years. They ain't going down the line here.
Exactly.
Anyway, but it works for us. But you got to figure out what I can handle, you might can't handle.
And I think that goes overall. I think that's a really good place to even wrap up with the whole conversation. Mm-hmm. You can do so many things that are uncomfortable. You can try to fit into so many different areas, different narratives.
Yes.
Right? At the end of the day, if you want a healthy relationship, you're always striving for that comfort.
Yes.
You want to be comfortable. So I think it's always good to kind of wrap around with saying that whatever place that you are, you can be on either side of the fence. You should probably do that self-reflection. Check yourself. Are you making people uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Or are you making people comfortable?
And that's the thing is really when you're in a relationship with somebody and you can talk to Wiley Hustle about her relationship, Vince George about hers. I don't know who else is married because my mind just blank. Talk to these people. Listen to them because they're finding things that work actually for themselves. Mm-hmm. But in this whole thing of being married, it's about being together, making it work. And what works for you, you have to be comfortable in it. The wife should be just as comfortable as the husband should be just as comfortable as the wife. And then you should be feeling free to be able to talk to each other about any and everything because that is what intimacy is. I can tell my partner anything. It can be the most disgusting thing, the most craziest thing. And I know my partner is listening to me and understanding me and loving me regardless of what comes out of his mouth. You know what I mean? That's what you want. It's that comfortability where I can do and say anything, but I know no matter what, my husband loves me. And I feel like that's everybody. And I could be wrong because Wiley's on here. She could say no, girl. And so can a visitor. Nah, that's not me. But I'm just saying for people, you want to see that, oh, I've been married and happy for all these years and we didn't have any issues. All we did was move around and float in there. No, it took work to find out who each other are and what we can handle. I love what Wiley Hustle said when she said we got 24 hours and she'd be right there 25 hours and 1 second. I love that. I ain't that girl. But in my mind, I'd be like, yeah, let's do that. Okay, and then I would have found out it didn't work. When Chris got hit upside his head because he told me something like that, it didn't work. I know that about me. You know what I mean? So learn your partner because what you want to do is be comfortable with each other where nobody else can get in between it. And you guys know, I'll do this thing again. When you become one, this is you. Okay? This is you becoming one. When you get here, let's work on getting back to here. Because you don't want to work this way because it only takes a paper size to get through here to ruin a relationship. And then that's where you hear, well, I accidentally cheated or I accidentally did it. I just fell out of love. And I'm gonna tell you, as much as I love my husband, I have fell out of love with him 2-3 times. But I always try to make sure we was here even when I fell out of love. Like, this man has gotten on my last nerve. I could see why people don't stay together. Like, and I guarantee you I made him feel that way. It ain't even a conversation. I know I made Chris feel that way. But I'm just saying we worked hard to be where we at. And this right here, the subject that we're talking about, is to me one of the major issues in relationships, and you hear it all the time. You hear people who get divorced after 30 years, 40 years, 20 years, or 5 years. They are not feeling heard. They are not feeling like they're being listened to, and they feel uncomfortable in their relationship, period. And nobody in a relationship should feel uncomfortable. And if they do, your job as the husband is to make sure your wife does not feel comfortable. And your job as a wife is to make sure your husband does not feel comfortable. Make sure your husband and your wife feel heard. Make sure they feel like you care about them. You ain't always got to agree with them, but you heard them, you understand them, and you care about them. Now, we also got to learn that we ain't going to always be agreed upon.
Yeah.
And they ain't always going to have our backs. But as long as I feel heard and understood, I know I'm safe.
Well, definitely. I feel like that's a good point right there. We got to now welcome some folks in. We're going to catch up with the chat a little bit. But GJ3, he's coming in. He said, some can wait to 24 hours, but some just can't let the sun go down on their end. Interesting.
Yeah.
Say, yep. Some people don't want to go to bed angry. So how does that 24 hours work then? Who sleeps on the couch? Victoria said, maybe we need to come on your show and talk about it.
Yes.
All right, and GJ3 show, that would be a good idea for y'all to do.
I'm telling you, I want to change it up a little. So in November, we're going to know all our changes, and we'll post it before November 6th. But November 6th, it won't be called Relationship Advice. It'll be called
Love Lounge. All right, and with that being said, we're going to go ahead and welcome somebody in. She on the journey. We got
Liz B. Journey.
Liz B. rolling deep. Welcome in.
Yeah.
How you doing, Liz? All right. She's throwing peace to the chat, showing love everywhere.
Yes.
All right. And with that being said, GJ3, he said, yeah, who sleeps on the couch or makes the pallet on the floor? Wiley said, we could be mad, but we both going to be going to bed. Oh, we're going in that bed going to sleep. Let me reword that. We could be mad, but we both getting in that bed going to sleep.
Yeah.
So regardless of the situation, we're going to have to roll over the other side. We're going to sleep.
I remember I was trying to tell Chris he couldn't sleep in the bed. I went to sleep and I told him he was going to sleep somewhere. I woke up, he was in the bed. I was hot. I was so hot because I was like, get your butt. And I told you we ain't sleeping in the same bed. It's over. Like, I'm done with you. And I woke up and there he was. I was hot. That was when we first got married, y'all. And that ain't never happened since. But I'm just saying, I was hot. Like, I was ready to fight. Like, what you doing in the bed?
Oh, no.
That was a whole new argument.
No, we ain't sleeping on the couch.
What? Eli said he's sleeping on the couch.
I ain't sleeping on the couch. Hey, Liz, good to see you. All
did
right.
we welcome Liz B. Journey in?
Yeah, we did. We
Okay.
just welcome her in.
Oh, I got to do it again because I missed it.
We're going to go ahead and welcome her in again. We got Liz B. Journey. Liz, for the double time. You extra special today. Welcome in, Liz. Oh, we ain't sleeping on the couch. Okay, so with that being
You
said.
still that in on me? You didn't hear him? He said,
so
we ain't sitting on the couch.
All right, so I think we had a good conversation today, good discussion. Everything is going so well. But I think it's time for us to kind of wrap things up over here. I hope everybody had a good time. Wiley's saying we just don't have to have that conversation when we go to sleep. You definitely don't have to wait 24 hours. You make it work for y'all.
Exactly,
Absolutely. And that's what it's all
exactly.
about. And again, overarching with the whole sentiment of everything. You can make people uncomfortable. You can be comfortable, whatever it may be. But we all striving for that comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And in a relationship, at the end of the day, we both want that comfort.
Exactly.
So you need to make sure and check yourself. Make sure you're doing what your partner needs for you to be comfortable, and vice versa. And as many things that we've talked about today, they might not all apply to you. Your partner might not be comfortable with it, and you might not be comfortable with it. It's just not compatible.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, at least we're over here having different discussions, different ideas, and having some understanding, and we can understand how things can make people uncomfortable.
Exactly.
So we're about to head out. Thank y'all for your time. We appreciate y'all. We're closing out by saying, remember to love and live each day as if it were your last. Thank y'all for watching.
Smooches.
Y'all take care.
Yo, L&L. L&L. Woo, woo, woo. Love and Live Show. It's hot, 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 taste it hot. I'm ready. Love and Live. Let's go. Love and Live Show. Motivation speakers. Positive affirmation. Tune in every week. We need a Monday family meeting. Always relationship advice on Wednesday so you don't go creeping. Thursday game time. Come in and unwind. Friday night shout out time. Creators grind and shine. Pop up at the pop up. Shop up at the shop up. Get your bomb.com seasons for your potluck. Tropical morning for your royalty. Love and Live empire bringing all the heat. Wanna taste that heat? Woo. Try to taste the heat. Woo. Hot sauce, that sweet heat is banging like this beat. Woo. Chocolate burning, love, mild watermelon. Heat. Dynamite's the truth. Have you woo? Figured nephew. Lenora. She know it's the truth. Chris. Everybody love Chris. Love and Live Show.
It's the love and live show. It's the love and live show.
Love and Live.
It's the love and live
We be laughing, having fun.
Get up and stay. Love and live. Get up and stay. Love and live.
Love and Live each day as if it was your last.
The love and live show.
Smooches.
The love and live show.
Yeah. This is Love and Live Shock.